Hello students and welcome to the video lecture series of RGPV Bhopal. I am Dr. Sarla Verma, lecturer in English in Dr. Bhimrao Ambedkar Polytechnic College, Gwalior. The module on voice, this is module number 5 and it has one lecture and it is in the subject Communication Skills in English, course code 6801 under the outcome-based curriculum scheme of RGPV, which has been implemented in 2019. So today's topic is passive voice, and the course outcome is to formulate grammatically correct sentences in English using general purpose words. And the learning outcomes as specified in your syllabus or curriculum are that the students will be able to use appropriate grammatical structures and they'll be able to appreciate and critically evaluate the usage of correct grammar to ensure effective communication. Specific module outcomes of this particular module are to understand the importance of voice. The student will be able to change active voice sentence into passive voice sentence and vice versa as required in the given situation, and you will be able to appreciate the use of correct voice or appropriate voice for effective communication. The prerequisites required for studying voice are the knowledge of determiners, familiarity with auxiliary verbs, subject-verb agreement, and a good knowledge of tenses. Now, what is exactly passive voice? Passive voice, it emphasizes on the action or the verb activity. Normally, when we speak a sentence, it emphasizes on the subject. Subject is given importance in our normal sentence structure, but in passive voice, the subject becomes passive. The subject is not active, so we call it as passive voice. Subject means the noun which comes first in the sentence, it comes in the beginning of the sentence, and normally it is the doer or the performer of the action or about whom we are talking. So subject normally comes first in the sentence. It's either a noun or a pronoun. For passive voice, subject is not important. We use passive voice when we do not want to give importance to the subject. Let's take some examples. He repaired the machine. This is active voice, and the machine was repaired by him. By him, if it is needed, we can say. If it is not important, we can omit by him. We can simply say the machine was repaired. This is passive voice. So the action of the machine being repaired is important. Who repaired it is not important. So in passive voice, we do not give importance to the doer or the subject or the karta. In Hindi we say karta, one who does the action or one who performs the action. The doer of the action, action contained in the verb. Like the doctor operated my leg. So operated is the verb here, and who operated? The doctor. So doctor is the subject. When I do not want to give importance to the doctor, then I will say my leg was operated. I won't say the doctor operated. I will say my leg was operated. It is obvious that the operation will be done by a doctor or a surgeon only. So if you want to name the doctor, then you cannot omit the subject. Then the subject becomes important. You are naming the doctor. That Dr. Agrawal operated my leg. So then the subject becomes important. But here, if you say my leg was operated, that means you want to give emphasis or stress to the activity of operation. My teacher gave me a book. This sentence is in active voice, and if you change it into passive, it will be I was given a book or a book was given to me. So this is passive voice. So in passive voice, we normally give importance to the object or the verb activity. Whereas in active voice, we give importance to the subject. So when to use passive voice? We use passive voice when the subject is not important in the sentence. It is when it is not necessary to mention the subject, when there is no meaningful information which is contained in the subject, or speaker is interested in the verb activity, not in the active subject, or when there is no question of responsibility or accountability or reward or punishment or giving credit or blaming somebody for any action. So when there is no such situation, you need not use active voice. When you want to give importance to the subject, when you want to appreciate someone, when you want to credit someone for something good he has done, then we should use active voice. But if this is not the case, we can use passive voice. Now, can we change any sentence into passive? No. So sentences which have verbs which require object, only they can be changed into passive. So verbs which require objects, they are called transitive verbs, या हिंदी में हम इन्हें कहते हैं सकर्मक क्रिया होती है, या जिस क्रिया के बाद कर्म आवश्यक होता है वो सकर्मक क्रिया कहलाती है. So sentences with object, with verb, we say they are having transitive verbs. ट्रांजिटिव इसलिए कहते हैं क्योंकि वहां एक्शन जो है वो सब्जेक्ट से शुरू होकर ऑब्जेक्ट पे खत्म होता है. एक्शन बिगिंस विद द सब्जेक्ट बट इट एंड्स विद द ऑब्जेक्ट, और द एक्शन इज ट्रांसफर्ड फ्रॉम सब्जेक्ट टू ऑब्जेक्ट. बट when the action begins with the subject and ends with the subject only, then it is intransitive verb. So sentences with transitive verbs or sentences which have object, only they can be changed into passive. Also, we do not use passive voice for perfect continuous tense or future continuous tense. Perfect continuous tenses of all, present perfect continuous, past perfect continuous, we do not use passive for them. And also we do not use passive voice for future continuous tense. Now we have transitive verbs. So what are transitive verbs? Verbs with object. Verbs which have object, or where object receives the action that the subject does. That means the effect of the action is transferred from subject to the object. Like if I say they planted trees. They planted trees. So planted, the action of planted, it begins with they and it ends with trees. They type the letters fast. So the action of typing begins with they and it is transferred to the letters. The action of typing begins with they and ends at the letters. So the verbs planted and type, they are transitive verbs. There's a very simple method to find whether the verb is transitive or intransitive. You ask the verb, what or whom? क्या या किसे? क्या या किसे? And if you get the answer is the object. लेकिन ये जो what और whom question आपको रखना है, ये सीधा verb के बाद रखना है. So you ask the verb what or whom, and if you get an answer, the verb is a transitive verb. And if you do not get an answer, the verb is an intransitive verb. See, these are the examples of transitive verb. My family enjoys football. If you ask enjoys what? You get an answer football. So enjoys is a transitive verb, and he gave me a pen yesterday. So he gave me a pen yesterday. Gave what? A pen. Gave whom? Me. So there are two objects in this. You get a question. You get an answer for what also. You get an answer for whom also. So you have two answers. So you have two objects of the verb gave. He invited all the friends to his birthday party. So invited is the verb, and when you ask invited what or invited whom, you get an answer for the question invited whom. And the answer is all the friends. So all the friends is the object and invited is a transitive verb. I have replied the letter. So replied what? The letter. So the letter is the object of the verb replied. Someone has stolen my pen. So stolen what? My pen. Stolen is the verb. You ask stolen what? You get the answer, my pen. So my pen is the object and stolen is the verb. So in this way, you can find out whether a verb is transitive or not. If it is transitive, then only we can change the sentence into passive. So we can make passive voice only for sentences with transitive verbs. More examples of transitive verbs are eat, drink, write, read, play, draw, watch, post, delivered, give, tell, wash, catch, find, send, and the list can go on. You can have many more, you can add many more to this list. Whenever you will ask what or whom after these transitive verbs, play what? You will get an answer, play football, play badminton, draw what? Draw a painting, draw a picture. Watch what? Watching a movie, watch the serial, like this. So you get answers for transitive verbs if you ask what and whom. Now, in intransitive verbs, in case of intransitive verbs, these verbs do not require an object. And if you put these questions, what or whom, after the verb, you will not get an answer. So we call them intransitive because in these verbs, the action is transferred from subject to the object. So action, the action, it begins with the subject, but it is not transferred to the object. It ends with the subject only. So intransitive. So there is no transfer of action from subject to object. So the action is not transferred from subject to object. To know the object of the verb, ask the verb what or whom. The answer you get is the object. If you do not get any answer, it is an intransitive verb, या जिसको हिंदी में हम कहते हैं अकर्मक क्रिया. Intransitive verbs, I can give you some examples. You can read. He ran very fast. Let us see. Ask this verb ran. Ran what? You don't get an answer. Ran whom? You don't get an answer. The child sleeps under the tree. Sleeps what? Sleeps what? No answer. Sleeps whom? किसे सोता है? बच्चा सोता है पेड़ के नीचे. किसे सोता है? You don't get an answer. The child sleeps what? If you ask this preposition under what? You get an answer, the tree. So the tree is object to this preposition under. The tree is not an object to the verb. It may be an object to the preposition. Under what? Under the tree. But sleeps what? No answer. Sleeps whom? No answer. Walks what? No answer. Walks whom? No answer. Laughed what? No answer. Everybody laughed over the comedy. Laughed what? No answer. Laughed whom? No answer. Laughed over what? You will get an answer. Over the comedy. But laughed what? No answer. Stands is again an intransitive verb. Weep, sit, cry, go, come, return, arrive, work, talk, live, jump, shine, and die. These are also examples of intransitive verbs. If you ask weep what or weep whom, sit what or sit whom, come what or come whom, you will not get answers. So you can check asking these what and whom questions by yourself, and you will see that you do not get answers in these cases, and these verbs are intransitive verbs, so they do not require object, they do not have objects. So sentences with these verbs, intransitive verbs, cannot be changed into passive voice. See, this is a normal sentence of active voice. He threw the ball. In this, he is the subject, he is the doer of the action throw. He is throwing the ball, so he is the subject or the karta. So he is the subject. He gave me a book. Again, he is the subject. So normal sentence pattern is first we use the subject, which is a noun. So first noun is the subject, noun or pronoun. It can be noun or a pronoun. Then we use the verb, noun plus verb plus again another noun, which is an object. So he threw the ball. In English we say he threw the ball. In Hindi we say वो बॉल फेंकता है या वो उसने बॉल फेंकी. तो हम वर्ब बाद में ले रहे हैं हिंदी में और ऑब्जेक्ट पहले ले रहे हैं. हम बॉल पहले ले रहे हैं वर्ब के. लेकिन इंग्लिश में वी यूज ही द सब्जेक्ट एंड द वर्ब एंड देन द ऑब्जेक्ट. So this is the sentence construction of English, in which we have the subject and the verb and then the object. Now subject and object, they both are normally noun or pronoun. So here I have written in bracket, this noun is subject and this noun is object, and verb is in active voice. Now if you want to know more about transitive and intransitive verbs, these are some special cases where the verbs can be used as transitive as well as intransitive verb. Like move, he moved his car. Here if you ask moved what, you get an answer, his car. So moved is used as a transitive verb. But the trees were moving in the wind. So trees were moving. If you say moving what, you don't get an answer. Moving whom, you don't get an answer. Open the windows. Open what? The windows for fresh air. So you have an object, the windows. If you say the museum opens or the college opens at 10 o'clock. So the museum opens or the college opens at 10 o'clock. Opens what? You do not get an answer. Opens whom? You do not get an answer. Okay, close your books. So close what? Your books. Here close is transitive verb. The office closes at 5 p.m. Here the office closes. What or whom? You do not have an answer. So closes is used as intransitive verb here. So if you want to know further about transitive and intransitive verbs, you can pause this video and you can read the sentences for yourself and understand that there are some verbs and it depends on the use, whether they are used as transitive or intransitive. But normally there are intransitive verbs which are always intransitive, which are mostly used as intransitive verbs only. So these are further examples of verbs that can be used as both transitive and intransitive verbs. And transitive means that they will have an object, and when they have an object, you can change it into passive. हालांकि ये जरूरी नहीं है कि हर सेंटेंस जिसमें ऑब्जेक्ट हो उसको आप पैसिव में चेंज करें या उसको चेंज करने की कोशिश करें. इट ओनली डिपेंड्स ऑन द सिचुएशन. इफ इट इज रिक्वायर्ड देन चेंज इट इनटू पैसिव. Otherwise, don't think that if just because you can change active sentences into passive, you will be able to change them, or you should try changing active to passive without any purpose. So using active or passive voice has a definite purpose that we will come to know after this module. So I told you this is the normal sentence structure of active voice. First noun is the subject, then verb in active voice, and then the second noun is the object. When I say noun, it also includes pronoun. Similarly, in passive voice, the sentence structure changes. This noun, which is the object, it becomes the subject. So N2 comes here as, now it is the subject. So this N2, which was object here, now it is playing the role of subject. So now this is the subject. Now verb changes into passive. Verb is normally used in third form, and the helping verb is used according to the new subject. So I have written verb in passive, and then what happens to this subject? This subject of active voice, if it is not at all important, then we can drop it, or if it is required for complete meaning of the sentence, then you can retain it or you can keep it in the form of an agent with the help of by using by. So the first thing that we do when we want to change sentences from active to passive is find object of the verb. So first find the verb, then the object of the verb. Then ask the verb what or whom. Then object becomes the subject in the passive voice. First, try to find out object by asking the verb what or whom, and that object will come in subject's place in passive voice. So it will come first. Then second is you have to change the verb into third form. The second change that we do when we change from active to passive is you have to use the verb in third form and use the helping verb as per the new subject, because you have already studied subject verb agreement. So you will know that now the auxiliary verb or the helping verb will be used according to the new subject. And third important thing is what you will do with the subject of active voice. It can be omitted, that means drop it, don't use it. But if it is needed to give complete meaning to the sentence, then use it in the form of agent with by. So in this way, these are the steps when we change active sentences into passive. The first step is to find out the verb and the verb object. So the object of is very important when we want to change any sentence into passive, because object comes in the prime position. It comes first in the sentence in passive voice. Now, this also you need to know that when we use these subject pronouns, when pronouns they come in object's position, then they are in these forms. Like when we use I in subject's place, and when it comes to object, if it is in the object's place, then it will be in the form of me. So when you will change a sentence into passive voice with me as an object, so me, when it will come to subject's place, will change into I. Similarly, us, if it is an object's place after the verb, then it will change into we. When it comes to subject's place, so you remains the same. Him, when comes to subject's place, changes into he. Her, when comes to subject's place, changes into she. Them is the object pronoun. When it is used in the case of subject, it will be they. It remains the same. And whom is the object pronoun, and when it is used in subject's position, then it will be used as who. Also, this is for your general information that when we use possessive forms of these pronouns, so the possessive form of I is my or mine. That means it belongs to this subject. So it belongs to me. I will say this book is mine, or this is my book. If something belongs to we will say our, like our country, or our house, or this house is ours. Similarly, with you, the possessive becomes your or yours. This is your book, or this book is yours. Similarly, he, in its possessive forms, is his, like this is his book. Similarly, she, in its possessive form, is her or hers. This is her house, or this house is hers. Their or theirs for they. So when it is in the place of subject, it is they. When it is used as an object, it is them. And for possessive, it is their or theirs. It is its for who. The objective is whom, and the possessive case is whose. So this possessive was for your general information. For changing active to passive and vice versa, you will require these subject pronouns as well as these object pronouns. Now let us take an example of the verb throw. When you have to change the sentences from active to passive, here on the left side you have the active voice forms, and here you have the passive voice forms. If the verb is throw in simple present tense, when you change it into passive voice, it will be is, am, or are helping verb as per the new subject, and third form of the verb thrown will be used. So in all passive voice, we use the third form of the verb. So next example is of simple past. It's threw will change into was or were thrown. So was or were as per the new subject, and the third form is thrown. So whenever we have to change a sentence into passive voice, we use third form of the verb. Shall and will throw. So shall and will throw. This is simple future tense. It will change into shall or will be thrown. So there is addition of be here. Present continuous is or am are throwing, like he is throwing or we are throwing or I am throwing. So it will change into is, am or are being thrown. In continuous tense we use being. Now, example of simple past, he was throwing a ball or we were throwing a ball. It will change into was or were being thrown. Was or were according to the new subject, and then being, 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 and third form of the verb throw, thrown. Has, have thrown, this is the present perfect form. So has or have, the same auxiliary verbs will be used as per the new subject, and then there is addition of being. So in perfect tenses we use been, B-E-E-N, been thrown. So this is simple present, present perfect, this is past perfect, and this is future perfect. So in all the perfect tenses we are using been. So in all the perfect tenses we have used been, and in all the continuous tenses we have used being. In present and past continuous tenses we have used being, being, and in perfect tenses we have used been, being, and in simple future we have to add be, and everywhere in passive voice we have to use third form of the verb. Now let us take simple present tense. Another example with the verb drop. Now we are taking up complete sentences. So the sentence is people always admire his painting. And we can take up another sentence, people speak English all over the world. Now when we change these sentences into passive, people always admire his paintings. In this sentence, admire is the verb and his paintings is the object, because if you ask admire what, you get the answer his paintings. So his paintings will become the subject here. This becomes the subject and are always admired. So admired, third form, and because the sentence is in present tense, so passive voice sentence will also remain in present tense. Tense does not change in voice. When you are changing voice, that doesn't mean that tense will change. Normally students, they get confused and they compare it with direct indirect narration. In direct indirect narration, depending on the reporting verb, the tenses change. But in active passive tense, it does not change. Only the verb is used in third form, but the tense remains the same. If the sentence is in simple present tense, passive will also be in simple present tense. If it is in continuous tense, the passive will also be in continuous tense. If it is perfect tense, the passive will also be in the same perfect tense. So next sentence, people speak English all over the world. Speak is the verb here. If you ask speak, speak what? You get the answer English. So English is the object. And for changing this, you will make English as the new subject. So your English is the subject and is spoken, because English is singular, so you have used the helping verb is. Here people speak English all over the world. People was plural, but English is singular, so we use the verb is. English is spoken all over there. So your main sentence can be long, but you only have to see the verb and the object. You only have to see verb and the object for changing it into passive. You don't have to bother how long the sentence is. Like, see these sentences in simple past. He hurt his leg in an accident. This is the first sentence. He hurt his leg in an accident. So, in this sentence, hurt is your verb, and hurt what? His leg. Only this much this much part of the sentence will be required for changing it into passive. His leg is the object and hurt is the verb. They invited me to give a talk on participative management. So here they is the subject, but verb is invited, and invited whom? Invited what? You don't get an answer. But invited whom? Me. So me is the object. So only these two will be required to change the sentence into passive. The rest of the sentence you see, they invited me to give a talk on participative management. Rest of the sentence will remain the same. So the inquiry committee held the police responsible for the stampede. So you should not be scared, or you should not be afraid of big sentences. Okay, and don't confuse yourself. See, the subject is the inquiry committee. This is the doer of the action. Okay, held the police responsible. So held is the verb here. Held. So when you ask held what or held whom, your answer is the police. So the inquiry committee held the police responsible for the stampede. Stampede matlab bhagda. So let us see what the answers are. First, his leg was hurt in an accident. He hurt his leg, so his leg was hurt in an accident. We have changed the sentence into passive by making the object as the subject, by placing the object in subject's place. So his leg was your object, so his leg. And the sentence was in past tense, so his leg was hurt. Third form is hurt only, so his leg was hurt in an accident. Then me was your object, and when it comes into subject's place, then it will be the form will change to I. So subject pronoun is I. I was invited to give a talk on participative management. See, they invited me. Only this much part was needed to change into passive. They invited me. I was invited. Rest of the sentence is same. The inquiry committee held the police responsible for the stampede. So the police was held responsible. The police was the object, and when it comes in subject place, so the police was, sentence was in past tense, so was held responsible for the stampede. Please notice that the sentences that I have chosen, these sentences are sentences which will be better said in passive voice. Actually, these sentences, they need to be said in passive voice. It will be better if we say these sentences into passive voice, because the subject doesn't contain any meaningful information. If you say, he hurt his leg in an accident, actually what you intend to say is, he did not hurt his leg deliberately or intentionally. His leg was hurt. So this will be more appropriate if you say. Similarly, if you say the inquiry committee held the police responsible, maybe we want, if we want to stress that the police was held responsible, it was the police who was held responsible. So inquiry committee it becomes secondary, or it becomes less important. So you can even drop it. You can simply say the police was held responsible for the stampede. So in this way, you can change sentences into passive. Now, after simple present and simple past, we are taking simple future. So in simple future tense, in simple future we use will and shall, and in passive we use be. In passive we use be. So first sentence, first example is, people will forget this incident in a few years, and we shall discuss the matter tomorrow. This is the next sentence. So see here, verb is will forget, and the object is forget what? This incident. So this is your object. Now we shall discuss the matter tomorrow. Here the verb is discuss. We shall discuss. This is simple future. We shall discuss. Now discuss what? The matter. So this is the object. So let us change these into passive by adding be and third form of the verb, and will or shall according to the new subject. So in the second sentence, the helping verb is shall, auxiliary is shall because your subject was be. Now, when you change it into passive, your subject will be the matter. So your auxiliary will be will. Auxiliary verb will be will. See. So these are the answers. This incident will be forgotten in a few years. So this incident is now in subject's place, and with will you have added be. And third form of forget is forgotten. So this incident will be forgotten in a few years. And in the second sentence, the matter comes in subject's place. So the matter will be discussed tomorrow. Now we are changing present continuous tense into passive. Is MR drawing? Just to remind you that in present continuous tense, while changing into passive, we use being. So first example is workers are repairing the school building, and the second example is the committee is reconsidering the decision. So workers are repairing. This is your verb. Repairing what? The school building. This is your object. This is the answer you get when you ask repairing what? You get the answer school building. The committee is reconsidering. Reconsidering what? The decision. So this is the reconsidering is your verb and the decision is the object. So the passive is, see, the school building is being repaired. It's easy to remember. In continuous tense, you have ing with the verb, and in, while changing it into passive, we use being. So continuous tense means ing form, and passive, in passive of continuous tense, we use being. So just it becomes easy for you to remember. So the school building is being repaired and the decision is being reconsidered. So the decision was object and it has been made subject now. So the decision is being reconsidered. Now past continuous tense, similarly we will add being. They were decorating the stage for inauguration. So word decorating is your verb, and decorating what? The stage. So this is your object. Then people were enjoying the show. So people were enjoying, this is your verb, and enjoying what? The show. This is your object. So let us see what the answers are for passive voice of these past continuous tense sentences. Passive is, the first sentence, passive reads, the stage was being decorated for inauguration. Thus, the stage was being decorated. People were enjoying the show. The show was being enjoyed. So now present perfect tense. Here we use being, B-E-E-N, being, and has had according to the new subject. So the committee has prepared the detailed plan of the project. The committee has prepared, this is the verb, prepared what? The detailed plan of the project. This complete phrase is your object. The detailed plan of the project. This complete phrase is your object. Because when you ask prepared what, you get the answer, the detailed plan of the project. So he has done all the problems of this exercise. Present perfect tense. He has done, this is your verb, and done what? All the problems of this exercise. This complete is the object because you get the answer, all the problems of this exercise. When you ask has done what? Done what? All the problems of this exercise. So this is the object. When you change these sentences into passive, the detailed plan of the project has been prepared. This is the first passive. And all the problems of this exercise, because this is plural, so now you will have to use have. The new subject will be have, because the new subject is plural, so your verb will be have. So all the problems of this exercise have been solved. This is present perfect tense. Now past perfect tense, we use been, B-E-E-N, been. Now see the examples. No one had informed me about the party. No one had informed me about the party. So had informed, this is your past perfect tense. Now had informed what? No answer. Informed whom? Informed me. Okay. So informed what? About the party actually, but the direct answer that you get is of the question whom. So had informed whom? Me. So me is your object. They had repaired all the machines timely. Had repaired, this is your verb in past perfect tense, and repaired what? All the machines. So this is your object. So when you change the sentences into passive, you have to use had only, and with that you will use been and third form of the verb. So I had not been informed about the party. I had not been informed about the party. And all the machines had been repaired timely. So whenever the sentence is long, don't get confused. See, no one had informed what, no answer, whom, me is the answer, and me when changes into subject will be I. Now, about what? So the party is the object of the preposition about. It is not the object, it has got nothing to do with informed. If you ask about what, then you get the answer, the party. So don't get confused with uh, any other object of the preposition. So your object should be object of the verb only. So if you ask the verb what or whom and you get an answer, then that is your object. Only that is your object. Okay, object to the verb. So this is past perfect. Now future perfect tense, will, shall, have drawn. And I told you that we use been in perfect tenses. So it will be will or shall as per the new verb, and then have been and third form of the verb. So let us take up these sentences. The painter will have painted this picture by 5 p.m. This is a future perfect sentence because the painter will have painted this picture. He will have completed this picture, or he will have painted this picture by 5 p.m. So painted what? This picture. This is your object. They will have completed the construction work before July. So they will have completed. This is your verb in simple future tense, and completed what? The construction work. So this is your object. So when we change these into passive, it becomes this picture will have been painted by 5 p.m. and the construction work will have been completed before July. So in all these sentences, because subject is not containing any meaningful information, so we have dropped subject. We don't say the construction work will have been completed before July by them, because if by them is important, or if the doer is important, then it will be better that you say the sentence in active voice only. Don't say the sentence in passive voice if you want to give importance to the subject. Then let it be in active voice. There's no need of changing it into passive voice. So this picture will have been painted by 5 p.m. It is understood that the painter is painting the picture. So painter is not important when you say that this picture will have been painted by 5 p.m. What is important is that the activity of painting and the picture which is being painted. So the picture will have been painted by 5 p.m. and it is understood that the painter is painting the picture and he will finish his work by 5 p.m. Now there's a special case in active or passive voice sentences where we have to use it. We say introductory it. to change it into passive. Now, in the sentences of the type people say, or the scientists believe, or the doctors say, like the doctors say smoking is injurious to health, or people say we should respect elders. So, in these type of sentences, what do? We assume that after the verb, whatever is being said, that is object, because we if we say what, so whatever is the saying, that complete statement is the object. Like example, see, people say that tortoises live longer than elephants. Now people say what? The tortoises live longer than elephant. So say is your verb, and if you ask the verb what, say what. So this complete statement that tortoises live longer than elephant, this complete statement itself is the answer. So this complete is the object. So what do? We can replace this by it, this statement. We can replace it by it. And now if you change it, people say it. Now you change into passive, it is said. And then from that onwards, you mention the sentence as it is. Like, it is said that tortoises live longer than elephants. So it is said, and that is used as a connector. Said what? That tortoises lives longer than the elephant. So you have only changed only part of the sentence. People say it. You change this into passive. It is said. Or this sentence can also be done as tortoises are said to live longer than elephants. For you, this using introductory, it will be simpler. It is said that tortoises live longer than elephants. Let us take up another example. The scientists believe that there is no life on Mars. The scientists believe that there is no life on Mars. Now here the subject is the scientist, verb is believe. Believe what? That there is no life on Mars. So scientists believe it. Now change it into passive. And you explain it later on with that. It is believed that there is no life on Mars. So the scientists believe. You assume that here it is it. The scientists believe it. And now change the sentence into passive. It, because it is simple present. So it is third form of verb believe, believed. Rest of the sentence remains the same. The statement remains the same. What is the statement? That there is no life on Mars. So it is believed that there is no life on Mars. So in this way you can change sentences into passive with introductory it. Now another interesting thing, whenever these auxiliary verbs may, might, must, ought to are in active voice, we use be to change them into passive. Like, he may lock his house. So the object is lock what? His house. So his house will become the subject. His house may be locked. Third form of lock is locked. So his house may be locked. The committee might approve the proposal this week. So might approve, this is your verb construction, and approve what? The proposal. So the proposal is your object. So the sentence becomes the proposal might be approved this week. So we have used be with might. Similarly, somebody must finish the work. So the object is the work. So the work must be finished. People ought to take care of old people. People ought to take care of old people. So here we have used ought to. Now you will use be after ought to, and for take care you will use taken care. So old people ought to be taken care of. old people, which was the object in the first sentence. So old people ought to be taken care of. This is your passive voice. Similarly, when these auxiliary verbs can, could, shall, should are used in active voice, while changing these sentences into passive voice, we use be after them. So can will be can be, should will be should be, could be, shall will be shall be. So let's take up the examples. No one can answer your question. So your question cannot be answered. So can not, because it was a negative sentence. So your question cannot be answered. So instead of saying your question can be answered by no one, instead of saying this, you should say your question cannot be answered. They could do it easily. So it is your object here. So it could be done, third form of do, done. It could be done easily. The publisher should publish the new edition soon. So try this. The new edition should be published soon. We shall take care of this issue. Now you can easily find out object, I think. So the object is this issue. So this issue will be taken care of, because it was we, the subject was we earlier, so we used shall. Now the subject is this issue, which is a third person singular, so we will use this issue will be taken care of. Now there is some special case. Let us take the case of imperative sentences, where we are ordering or instructing someone. Now if the sentence is post this letter or hang this painting on the wall, how will we change these sentences into passive? We will use let and then the object, and then we will use be, and then third form of the verb. So let, then the object, then be, and then the third form of the verb. So post this letter. The object is, post is the verb, this letter is the object. Here the subject is not written, but it is understood. Post this letter means you post this letter, because it is spoken to second person, the person who's in front of you, whom you are talking to. So post this letter is here, the subject is you post this letter, which is understood. Post this letter, object is this letter. Pay attention to the object only. So verb is post and object is this letter. So the answer will be let this letter be posted. So hang this painting on the wall. Here hang is the verb. Hang what? This painting. This painting is your object. So let, we will use let. This painting, this is the object. Be, let this painting be hanged on the wall. Now thank God. Thank God. What's the subject here? Subject is let us thank God. Huh? So actually when we say thank God, we mean that we are thanking God. So it's the first person, not the second person, unless you say, unless you specify that you must thank God. It is I or we. So thank God. The passive will be let. See, thank is the verb, and God is the object. So let God be thanked, or God should be thanked. Thank, the third form of thank is thanked, and simply we have we begin the sentence with let and add be after the new subject. So let God be thanked. Now, when the subject has to be emphasized. Subject and subject is important and you cannot drop it. See, in all the examples that we have studied till now, we have dropped the subject because it was not important, it was not containing any meaningful information. Now, if I say, her beauty struck me deeply, her beauty struck me deeply. Here, her beauty is the subject and struck is the verb. If you say struck what? No answer. Struck whom? So me. You get the answer. So me is the object. So this is the subject, this is the verb, and this is the object. If you want to change it, let's try changing it. Me becomes I as subject. So I was deeply struck. But if you drop the object, if you don't say by her beauty, the meaning is not complete. So I was deeply struck by her beauty. You have to mention the agent. So I was deeply struck by her beauty. So this subject, her beauty, it changes its form with by. Okay, so I was deeply struck by her beauty. This is the passive. My presence surprised him. So surprised is the verb and surprised whom? Him. Him is the object and my presence is the subject here. We are talking about my presence. So my presence is the subject. Now if you change using this verb and object, it will become he was surprised in passive voice. He was surprised. But if you don't say by my presence, the meaning is incomplete. So you cannot drop the subject here. You have to say he was surprised by my presence. Then the meaning is complete. His confidence motivated her to find a solution. Again, his confidence is the subject, motivated is the verb, and her is the object. So when you change it into passive, it will become she was motivated by his confidence. So if you drop his confidence, your meaning will not be complete. So you have to say she was motivated by his confidence to find a solution. So you cannot drop subjects here, and we have used subjects in the form of agents with the help of by. We have retained the subjects. हमने subjects को retain किया है, रखा है, because the meaning will not be complete if you drop the subject, if you do not use the subject. Use passive voice purposefully and smartly to win friends and people. Now, we have studied active and passive voice, how to change the sentences, but why we require passive voice, this is also important. It's now the passive voice is used only with a specific purpose. So it should be used purposefully and smartly. So let us take up some situations. Suppose your father has gifted you with an expensive watch. And unfortunately you lose it. So you have lost the watch. You come back home. Your father says, it was such an expensive watch. You have lost it. It was such an expensive watch. You have lost it. As if you have lost it deliberately. Now you dropped it somewhere. Now if your father says, the watch is lost, it was an expensive one. So your father is worried about the watch being lost. He is not blaming you that you have lost it. See, when you say you lost it, you have lost it, or you have dropped it, you have lost it. You have not taken care of it, and that is why the watch is lost. But when you say the watch is lost, it means that you are worried or you're bothered about the watch being lost. It was an expensive watch, but definitely you're not blaming the person. Okay, so the father is not blaming son, but he is bothered or he's concerned that the watch is lost. Suppose somebody while working in the kitchen drops a glass accidentally and it's broken. So the owner of the house, if she says, oh, you have broken a glass, it was my imported set of glassware. You have broken a glass. And another way of speaking the same thing can be, oh, it's broken. So it's broken. This is passive voice. You have broken is active voice. So when you say you have broken, you are blaming the worker or the maid who's working in the kitchen. If you say it's broken, so you are concerned that it's broken. But see how the feelings also change with voice. It's broken. Are you injured? Are you injured? Are you okay? I hope you are not hurt. It was my imported set. So the owner is worried that it was an imported set, it was an expensive set of glassware, and one of it is broken. But definitely, see, if you use this active voice, you will lose the relationship, you will lose the confidence of the people, you will lose the trust, mutual trust. But if you use passive voice, sometimes the blaming and fixing responsibility or accountability, it spoils your relationship. So it is better to use passive voice or to say things indirectly. Post this letter. Post this letter. You're ordering somebody, post this letter. Instead of saying like this, you can say, let this letter be posted, or this letter needs to be posted urgently. So these are all passive voice sentences. Lay the table, or let the table be laid. So these are passive voice sentences. And when suppose you want to get something done, you can use passive voice sentences to be polite and to get things done without actually ordering or without actually being direct. So your job is also done, your work gets done, and the person is also, he doesn't feel humiliated, or he doesn't feel as if he is being ordered or instructed. So you have to use passive voice very smartly with lot of forethought. So it should be well thought of. When you have to use passive voice, you will get your work done whether by using passive voice or by using active voice. See, when you have to give credit to someone, when you have to give appreciation or you have to praise someone for some good work that he has done, always use active voice. And when you want to fix up responsibility, be a little mild, be a little polite. You can use passive voice for anything which has been done wrong. So that person will not be offended. Now, these are the test exercises. You have to change voice of these sentences. The chief guest gave away the prizes to the winners. The university awards the degree to the successful candidates. They have offered him a job. The technicians had prepared all the machines. The employer will provide all the facilities to us. We shall inform you. And they told that he had already left the city. So the sentences are of different tenses and of different types, and you have to change these sentences into passive. Remember, the tense remains the same. Tense remains the same. The verb has to be used in third form, and try to identify the object and use the auxiliary verb according to the new subject. The answers are given here. Some sentences have more than one object. So find out the object, and sentences with two objects can have two passive voice sentences. So these are the answers for checking whether you have done correctly or not. Now the assignment, page number 179 and 180. The exercises given on these pages in your textbook Communication Skills for Technical Students, Book 1, in the topic The Passive. You can do these exercises and submit. I hope you have enjoyed learning voice and you have understood correctly how to use active and passive voice and where to use active and passive voice sentences. And this learning